Okay, so let's not talk about Uncle Jack back here. This is Uncle Jack. Let's not talk about Uncle Jack back here. She needs to be washed, and I'm not washing her until after Friday, for obvious reasons. For obvious reasons, I'm not washing her until after Friday. So ignore Uncle Jack back there, cause Uncle Jack is making his own decision and he wants to, well, stay standing strong. Anyways, I thought I was done with Genesis chapter 1 in the form of teaching, but you all said no. You all want more. So I'm going to give you more when it comes to Genesis chapter 1. So we're going to go over makeup and eyeshadow palettes in an overall form with Genesis chapter 1 because I have some of those eyeshadow palettes in this bin right here that goes with Genesis chapter 1. Now, like I said, I don't have my paper Bible here with me because he tooketh it. He tooketh my paper Bible, so I have to go to BibleGateway.com in order to get the answer that I need. Bible Gateway. I have to go to Bible Gateway to get the answer because he tooketh my paper Bible. Hold on a second. Y'all can't see me, sorry, because I was on BibleGateway.com, so let me make my screen a little bit smaller. What am I doing? Genesis chapter 1. Genesis chapter 1. What I'm looking for is to be able to get how many verses are in Genesis chapter 1 from BibleGateway.com in order to show y'all how many eyeshadow palettes I have in here that are technically from Genesis chapter 1. So hold on, let me get that answer and then I'll get back to you. Hold on. Let me get back to you. Let me get back to you. Full chapter. Full chapter. Full chapter. Full chapter. Genesis chapter 1. BibleGateway.com. Okay. BibleGateway.com, full chapter. Genesis chapter 1 has 29. No, incorrect. Genesis chapter 1 has 30 scriptures. On BibleGate, 31. Any more coming up that I might want to know about? Or does it stop at 31? 31 scriptures. Okay. Genesis chapter 1. BibleGateway.com has 31 scriptures, and these are all the eyeshadow palettes with 31 scriptures. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over a Bible verse for Bible verse with each eyeshadow palette, and it's going to be a long video, so sit down and let's have a chat. Grab a coffee. Grab a coffee. Grab a coffee. So the title of this scripture in Genesis chapter 1 verse 1, it says the beginning. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Okay? So, remember how I said other Bible scriptures have other chapters that's connected to Genesis chapter 1? That's what's happening in this palette right here with Genesis chapter 1 verse 1. In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. This is Revolution Makeup Revolution London eyeshadow palette, Forever Flawless Desert Desire. Okay, so we're gonna be reading the Bible in eyeshadow palette form in this direction from here, here, and here. So the word in, okay, is the eyeshadow shade Desert Gaze. In the is the word scorch. Beginning is the word lust. So in the beginning, okay, then you have God, which is dust storm. God created, which is the eyeshadow shade Explore. God created the, which is the word fiery. So in the beginning, God created the, no, incorrect again. Let's read that properly. In the beginning, God created the. Now that's correct. The word heaven is desert, this blue shade right here. The heavens, the word heat, which is this green shade right here. You have created the heaven, and the word and is the word Sahara. Sahara. So let's go over those three. In the beginning, God created the heavens and it stops right here at Desire Earth. That's this whole palette right here stops at the shade Desire with the word Earth. Right there, Desire. So when it comes to the other scripture, I'll read that other half and I'll let you know what that other half is. But this is Genesis chapter 1 verse 1. The first, let's see, how many shades is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The first 10 shades. The first 10 shades in this eyeshadow palette is Genesis 1 verse 1. Okay? So, as Genesis 1 verse 1, Genesis 1 verse 2 is this eyeshadow palette right here, and that is the information that I have right here. Genesis 1 verse 2. That's what I have right there. So that's Genesis 1 verse 2. Okay? So this is Genesis 1 verse 1. This is Genesis 1 verse 2. This one, oh, what's this one? What's this one? This one is the e.l.f. 18 Hit Wonders eyeshadow palette, and that's Genesis 1 verse 2. This one from Nicole Miller New York Nudes eyeshadow palette. This is Genesis 1 verse 3. That's the information I have right there. This is Genesis 1 verse 3. Genesis 1 verse 4 is this eyeshadow palette right here, and this is the Beauty Icon eyeshadow palette. Genesis 1 verse 3. This is Genesis 1 verse 3. Genesis 1 verse 4 is this eyeshadow palette. Genesis 1 verse 4, this is the Profusion Cosmetics times Means Girls 35 shade palette, North Shore High School yearbook. So this is Genesis 1 verse 4. Okay? Genesis 1 verse 5 is this eyeshadow palette in which I've been working from for the book of Genesis 1 verse 1 for the longest, and no, I'm still not done. I still have 3 more shades to go. I still have to use Brassy and Sassy. I still have to use Trust Fund Issues, and I still have to use Budding Fortune. Fortune. So I still have 3 more shades left in this palette in order to complete Genesis chapter 1 verse 5. I'm not completed Genesis chapter 1 verse 5 with this yet, but I have the shade Brassy and Sassy, Budding Fortune, and Trust Fund Issues to complete Genesis chapter 1 verse 5 in looks with this eyeshadow palette. Genesis chapter 1 verse 6. Genesis chapter 1 verse 6 is this eyeshadow palette. This is the Milani Gilded Gold. This is the Milani Gilded Gold, Genesis chapter 1 verse 6, and I have obviously finished a word out of that scripture, Genesis chapter 1 verse 6. I've obviously finished a word, but the word is still there in the shade 100p. Okay, but that's Genesis chapter 1 verse 6, Milani Gilded Gold. Genesis chapter 1 verse 7. This one somehow ended up damaged. This one ended up damaged. Genesis chapter 1 verse 7. This is Maybelline New York, the Burgundy Bar. Yeah, so this one ended up damaged. Maybelline New York, the Burgundy Bar. This is Genesis chapter 1 verse 7. Genesis chapter 1 verse 8. Genesis chapter 1 verse 8. And if you're looking at the eyeshadow palettes, you'll see that they have a similar color eyeshadow type of palette. It's just the different micas that make them look different, because it talks about the story of the Bible in the form of color. So this, what did I stop at? This is Genesis chapter 1 verse 7. This is Genesis chapter 1 verse 8. This is Hard Candy Look Pro eyeshadow palette in all that rose gold 1339. This is Genesis chapter 1 verse 8. Okay? Genesis chapter 1 verse 9. Genesis chapter 1 verse 9 is these liquid eyeshadow palettes. Well, they're eyeshadows, but yeah. Genesis chapter 1 verse 9. This one is, let's see what it says. This one is Light Transcending. This is Genesis chapter 1 verse 9. This is Genesis chapter 1 verse 10. And this one is Canyon on Fire. Genesis chapter 1 verse 10. Canyon on Fire. Genesis chapter 1 verse 10 again, because it's split into 2. Genesis chapter 1 verse 10 again. And this is a smoke signal. Genesis chapter 1 verse 10, smoke signal. So both of these are Genesis chapter 1 verse 10. This one is Genesis chapter 1 verse 9. And this is from About Face. This is from the brand About Face, and they are liquid eyeshadows. Genesis chapter 1 verse 11 is this eyeshadow stick right here. This is from Maybelline. This is the Color Tattoo. This is the